one of the really cool things that happens the more present you become, you start to notice the details of your reality more, and you can start to see where the universe is always talking to you. It's always giving you guidance, messages, and reflecting back to you where you're doing really well and where you need to maybe improve a little. And that comes from a deeper level of presence. But it's all part and parcel of ascending in the energies. And to me, ascension is like waves going up. You're never quite dipping as low as the last low, and your highs are always a little higher, but you got to come down a bit and integrate, right? And to me, it's not just presence. Presence is a small piece of what we're doing with this quantum integration, this quantum field coherence. And your quantum field coherence, I've spoken about it before, and it's probably my favorite thing in the world. It is your connection, your mind, your body, your soul, your heart, your thoughts, your emotions, your connection to source, universe, God, whatever resonates with you, your connection to your higher power, and your energy, your energetic fields. And this is made up of so much: your subconscious, your conscious, your ego, your higher self, your nervous system, your electrical, your magnetic. There are many, many parts and pieces to this. Presence is one of the secret ingredients in the sauce that is going to bring you to more quantum field coherence. I had a friend throw me the topic of presence and how it evolves as we raise in frequency, as we evolve. And there has absolutely been an evolution for myself. And much like he said, it gets easier and harder all at the same time. As we evolve, our level of presence evolves also. It's been my experience that as I've been evolving, my level of presence has also been evolving. And I had someone put it into really unique wording today that resonated. It hit home in a way that kind of nothing else has. And that's when we're looping back to the past or looking back to the past, it's a really good indicator of something that hasn't been healed yet. And I'm not talking about having a nostalgia night with a friend and walking back through all the great memories. That's fun. We all do that. People talk about collapsing the ego and becoming fully present in their reality. Not sure that that's even possible. Ego serves some purposes that, in my opinion, higher self does not. And ego is, to me, the anchor to the physical world. Ego, when you start to use ego, train ego to work for you as opposed to running your life from a space of fear, it can be very beneficial. And in doing so, you're acknowledging that it's still an important part of who you are in this physical reality. And ego is not rooted in presence by any means. But ego is really good at things like future planning. That's not a higher self thing. All of those beautiful manifestations or reality bands or reality shifts that you want to create or pull in or become, that's your ego that has the ability to fantasize and to look at different layers of reality. To me, that's not necessarily a higher self. Now, where the two can come together is the visualizations, the embodying different energies. That's higher self. But it's ego that is doing the daydreaming, in my opinion. It's ego that is looking and having these wants and needs and wanting to do things different. So is it possible to always be present? I don't know. In my opinion, I don't think it is. There's got to be, when you're living in this reality that is duality and polarity, you're going to spend some time in the present. You're going to spend some time in the future and the past. And that's okay. All of it is okay. In a world full of distractions, can you choose to become more present? More present with your day-to-day living, more present in your relationships, more present with yourself. One of the ways that I believe anchors more presence into the now, your consciousness into the now, is that connection with the body. And it's the body, mind, energetic, spiritual connection that keeps us in the present. For me, from like a very basic level, if I catch myself and I'm looping in the mind for something, can I bring it back to my body? Can I go for the five senses? What can I see right now? What can I hear right now? What can I touch or feel right now? Can I taste anything, smell anything? Just pull back all to the physical and the breath to connect to the present moment. When you get more present to your reality, you see more of the magic that is coming in all the time. And it's really interesting because to me, that soul, that higher self, those connections are aligned with presence. And the transition from the 3D reality to residing in the 5D reality, it's more of going from the space where ego's running the show to ego's now in the back seat, not fully collapsed. Ego is still present, still honored, still valued. Ego, this guy, he kept us safe for many, many years, right? Ran the programs to keep us safe. That was ego's function. Ego does things like future planning, daydreaming, paying your bills, talking to people that you don't really feel like interacting with. This is stuff ego's good at. The chameleon, the masks that sometimes you need to put on to navigate through different situations. And I am like 110% for authenticity. But sometimes that authenticity can be a little loud, and it doesn't need to be. Sometimes ego can get you through a situation a lot smoother and cleaner. So there are jobs that ego can do. When you're in ego, though, you are stepping out of your presence. Ego is very rarely right here, right now. That's your soul, your higher self, your connection to source and universe. It's the present moment. The experience of being present can actually help you start to stretch time in those moments where you are having the most brilliant and beautiful experiences. And I know that sounds kind of woo and kind of out there, but I've had these experiences myself where I'm away for a week, 1 week in a different country. The time, it's like taffy. It's beautiful. It's stretching. It's like it never ends. And that whole time flies when you're having fun. When the fun is the small part of your reality, when the being present is the small part of your reality, when you are focused on the future, focused on the past, looping back to the past, those present moments almost disappear. When you step into becoming more and more present in your day-to-day life, being more and more present, being rooted in your body, time changes. Your presence changes the way you experience time. So that the really good things, you get to stay in those moments that much longer. And it's really hard to explain this or put it into words if you haven't had the experience. And there's definitely other times where time collapses and it just disappears, and time's not real, but your presence is, if that makes sense. I like looking at multiple topics from all different directions. What I can say with presence, it's this connection or this balance between the ego and the higher self. And the more we gently are transitioning our ego to like the backseat and letting the higher self become the driver in our body, right? Which is also taking us through a reality. It is creating what we're experiencing. The more we can honor and love our ego, who is sitting in the backseat, occasionally backseat driving, as opposed to always running the show, the layer and level of presence changes. There is a natural progression with how present you become in your reality, to how much you are functioning from soul or higher self, or from your human, your ego. And it's all human. That's probably not the best wording to call ego the human. But ego is very much running from your programs and your distortions, right? So your limiting beliefs, that's all of the things that ego runs through your system. Higher self is going to start to collapse those things out. If you like the messages and the content resonates, drop a comment below, share the video, hit like. Let's get the algorithms to pick some of this content up and get it to a broader audience. Help some more people.